Let's get let's get this set up and welcome to another episode of Smash Tutorials. I'm filming this off my phone because this is mostly intended for my friends, but if you're somebody who's looking for help and tips and all that stuff, go ahead, check it out. Leave a thumbs down for the quality. Let's get this. So this is for Game and Watch. Match was 420, blaze it. So Game and Watch is a tricky case because he has a bunch of moves that are kind of janky and kind of weird, and it kind of catches people off guard. So for this one, this guy is using the turtle exactly how it pisses off a lot of people. He's using it as a good spatial tool. There you see Mr. Game and Watch get out of PK Fire because it's not as great a move in this game as in other games, so people need to stop bitching about PK Fire. Um, Speak of the devil. And yeah, so he's using the turtle to space Meow, and I'm not going to approach him. So this leads to a very slow match of me. I'm just throwing out forward airs, waiting for him to mess up. I'm not going in offensively because his turtle has such long range that more likely I'm going to get the one that's going to get hit, and that move is dangerous because you can usually string it into 3 turtles and eat your jumps. That's usually what I do. So I kind of already have some experience with the Game and Watch matchup only because I use him. So it gives me an opportunity to kind of and that's what I recommend. If you don't know how to beat a character, I recommend you pick him up, and then you'll see that what's giving you troubles isn't exactly as great as you may think. Like again, PK Fire, the thing I'm always talking about, play as Ness, you'll see it's not that great. Like that. Like I couldn't even follow up. So I'm just playing. I'm throwing out the PK Fires to kind of fish it. I'm fishing for him to make mistakes. It's a good spatial option. So whichever character you use, don't play aggressively against Mr. Game and Watch because he's going to punish everything with his turtle. Like he's playing very smart. He's spacing. He's not approaching me. He's waiting for me to make a mistake as well. We're both pretty much playing the same way because Mr. Game and Watch's turtle is kind of the same thing as Ness's forward air. They both hit multiple times. They kind of trap, and they're good for combos. So it's slow. It's not what people consider to be fast Smash Brothers, and that's kind of the name of the game. Like the game's not exactly for technical approaches. There's really, you know, and these are not even top tier characters. So it's like the top tiers have their ways of approaching, not so much these guys. So as you can see, it's more just here I'm part of the reason why I was throwing out a lot of PK Fires was also to kind of bait him into putting out his bucket, because once he thinks you're going to spam him, get him into thinking that you're going to do him all the time, and then he'll bucket and then capitalize on that. This guy was pretty smart. He would only throw out the bucket seldomly because he probably knew that I would capitalize on the bucket and kick his butt. But he's playing really good. He's playing very defensively, and that's Game and Watch. Like if you're playing against somebody who's defensive, you're gonna have to play defensive too because they're waiting for you to make a mistake. So here I'm kind of getting the timing because I haven't played that many good Game and Watches. Like this is like the first Elite Smash Game and Watch I've ever played. There he made a mistake. I think he might have forgot he didn't have a jump or whatever, but kind of came out of nowhere. So here I'm trying to rack up some damage. It's because here's the thing that sucks about Mr. Game & Watch. He KOs easily because he's so light. So they did give him a lot of good tools to kind of compensate for that, and it can be frustrating if you're not used to the matchup on how to get in. Like that turtle, it's just it is one of his better moves. That down smash, if it hits you in the right spot, it's pretty much an instant KO because he can just forward smash you with the fire edge of this stick. And there he goes. It's he's in kill range now, so he's just gonna keep I like to call it cat fighting. You ever seen two cats fight? How they both kind of just swing their arms, but none really go in for the pounds. That's kind of how you have to play against some of these characters. I use the same strategy against Ganondorf, Bowser, big characters, because again, if you mess up and they punish it, it's gonna hurt. So there, I saw I had to end the match because if I drew it out any longer, he'd eventually get me with a down smash, and that would be the end of it. So hopefully this kind of gives you some idea. I understand that I did talk a lot about Ness's downfalls, but it's pretty much just to give you an idea of like how I approached Mr. Game & Watch. With Ness, you're gonna have to adjust your strategies with whatever character you use. So it's like if you use Fox, you'll have to use his speed because his projectile is just gonna get absorbed, and it's weak. Sword fighters can beat out the turtle because of the range. So yeah, it's a matter of like who you're playing, but generally like the way you saw Mr. Game & Watch like coming in and out, you kind of have to just pick the move that you can do and kind of do the same thing he's doing and wait for that hole. Now pro players, they can find that hole in an instant, but if Mr. Game & Watch is giving you troubles, kind of do what I did of like going in and out, like kind of ease in, ease out. Don't commit to an attack. Only go as far out as you can before any more and he can hit you, and pull back. Even if it gets frustrating, that's kind of what you're going to have to do to win. At least if you're not a pro player and you're kind of just trying to find a strategy that works. That's been what works for me. Whenever I play somebody with Mr. Game & Watch and I get my butt kicked, they do the same thing. They wait for that hole. So, yeah, that was this time's Smash tutorial. Hopefully it helps, and if it's not, whatever.